Cash is the ultimate predator in a collapsing market, hunting while the investors bleed out. Liquidity isn't just safety, it's a loaded weapon waiting for the perfect financial kill shot. Stop being a spreadsheet slave. Real power is walking away because your bank says so. While James panics over red charts, Sarah buys his entire lifestyle at a massive discount. Inflation is a tiny tax compared to the massive cost of being desperate and broke. Your diversified portfolio is a prison if you can't pay for a sudden medical emergency. Wealth isn't a high net worth. It's the ability to say no to anyone. The math of holding cash beats the math of forced selling during a market crash. Wall Street wants you fully invested because they profit from your lack of liquid options. Be like Marcus, keep 2 years of runway and watch your boss suddenly become polite. A stack of hundreds is the only bridge between a crisis and a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Stop chasing 3% gains while ignoring the power of a 50% market drop. The most expensive thing you can own is an investment you're forced to sell early. Cash allows Eleanor to sleep through the recession that ruined her optimal investment years. Opportunities don't knock. They appear when everyone else is out of breath and muddy. Financial advisors hate cash because they can't skim fees off your private bank vault. Being all-in is just a fancy way of saying you have zero tactical flexibility. Victor turned $50,000 into $1 million because he had liquid fire during the panic. Your emergency fund is defense, your opportunity fund is a relentless, high-stakes offensive strike. The psychological piece of liquidity makes you a genius when the world turns into idiots. Don't let inflation fears trick you into a life of permanent, high-stress financial handcuffs. A heavy bank account is the best negotiation tool ever invented for any business deal. Most people are paper-rich but choice-poor because they lack immediate, accessible capital. When the bubble pops, the person with the most cash writes the new rules. Maya stayed calm in the crash, buying prime assets while her friends begged for loans. Cash is the oxygen of freedom. Without it, you're just suffocating in a golden cage. True wealth is having the balls to hold cash when everyone calls you a fool. The cost of inflation is the premium you pay for absolute, unbreakable personal sovereignty. Watch Leo double his wealth in a month simply because he didn't fear idle money. If you can't walk away from a toxic job today, you aren't actually wealthy yet. Markets reward the patient, but only the liquid have the literal ability to be patient. Every recession is a massive wealth transfer from the over-leveraged to the cash-heavy elite. Stop optimizing for a spreadsheet and start optimizing for your own biological stress levels. Cash is the silent partner that gives you the upper hand in every single room. When the sky falls, Liam doesn't look for cover, he looks for things to buy. Your net worth is a vanity metric. Your liquid cash is your actual strike force. A 10% return is nothing compared to a 40% discount on a business. The biggest lie in finance is that your money must always be working for someone. Liquidity is the difference between a temporary setback and a permanent financial catastrophe. Sophia ignored the critics, kept her cash, and bought the neighborhood during the last dip. Control the cash, control the narrative of your life, and never beg for a favor. Wealthy people don't fear crashes. They pray for them so they can use their cash. An investment portfolio is a harvest. Cash is the seed you keep for next season. Don't be the person who is rich but still stresses over a broken water heater. Cash allows for cold, hard logic when the rest of the world is screaming emotionally. The freedom to do nothing is the most expensive and powerful luxury in the world. Julian's dead money earned him a fortune when the housing market finally took a dive. Your bank balance determines your level of honesty. Desperate people can't afford the truth. Inflation eats pennies, but desperation eats entire futures and decades of hard-earned work. The best deals aren't on the stock market, they are in the pockets of panickers. Cash is the only asset that guarantees you a seat at the table during chaos. Stop worshiping compounding and start respecting the power of the immediate, liquid exit button. Clara used her opportunity fund to retire 10 years early during a global market shift. The market is a sea. Cash is the dry land where you wait for storms. Leverage is a ladder that breaks exactly when you are at the very highest point. Only the liquid can afford to be greedy when everyone else is frozen in fear. Your boss has power over you only because your bank account has a time limit. Keep your powder dry so you can fire when the targets are big and slow. Adrian's cash reserves turned a potential bankruptcy into a massive, life-changing acquisition success story. A zero-return asset that prevents a 50% loss is actually your top-performing investment. Wealth is the gap between what you earn and what you need to survive. Cash is the ultimate insurance policy against a world that doesn't care about your plans. Don't trade your peace of mind for a few extra points of projected annual growth. Real power is being able to buy the dip without checking with a loan officer. Nadia's liquid lifestyle allowed her to pivot careers while her peers stayed miserably stuck. The smarter the investor, the more cash they usually have hidden in the wings. Stop being afraid of missing out and start being afraid of being completely trapped. Cash is the only thing that talks when the music stops and the lights flicker. Financial freedom starts with a pile of money that nobody else can touch or see. The math of cash is simple. It buys time, and time is the ultimate asset. David laughed at the opportunity cost while buying a distressed company for pennies on dollars. If you are fully invested, you are a spectator. If you have cash, you're players. Protect your downside with liquidity, and the upside will eventually take care of itself. A massive cash reserve is the ultimate if you fund for any bad life situation. The most successful people keep cash because they know the world is fundamentally unstable. Risk isn't the market dropping. Risk is needing money when the market is currently down. Evelyn's cash allowed her to bid on a dream home while others waited for approvals. Forget the experts. Having cash makes you the expert of your own financial destiny. Cash is the bridge over the valley of despair that claims most retail investment accounts. You can't eat a credit score. You can buy a supermarket with enough cash. Be the person who provides liquidity to the market when everyone else is desperately withdrawing. Total liquidity equals total autonomy. Anything less is just a variation of financial slavery. Oscar's cash didn't grow for years, then it quadrupled his net worth in 6 months. The lost interest on your cash is just the price of being a financial predator. Never let a bank or a broker tell you that your cash is wasted money. Cash transforms a global crisis into a personal sale at your favorite luxury asset store. The ability to wait is a superpower that requires a very large bank account balance. Stop living on the edge of your spreadsheet and start living in the real world. Sienna bought her freedom with a 2-year cash cushion that made her job totally optional. Confidence comes from knowing you don't need the next paycheck to survive the month. The market will eventually crash. Will you be a victim or will you be buyer? Cash is the ultimate filter. It filters out bad deals and attracts the truly great. A portfolio without cash is like a car without brakes, dangerous at any high speed. Wealthy individuals use cash to buy the time that everyone else is selling for cheap. Your future self will thank you for the cash that bought the dip in 2026. Liquidity is the only thing that matters when the world is on financial fire today.